This is episode 103, and we're going to ask Prime Creator about the energies for August, if there's any heads up Prime Creator wants to give us about that. And I also want to ask Prime Creator about the blood pressure situation. A lot of people are experiencing high blood pressure. I have a feeling it's related to the ascension energies and the waves of love and light coming to the planet, but I want to get Prime Creator's perspective. So we're going to ask about that as well. Dear ones, let us first address the question about high blood pressure and what people are experiencing. There are people on this planet who are wired energetically to be anchors for the light. These people do not necessarily have all of their channels of flow open. This is a generalization, dear ones, as some are very flowing. But those who are serving as anchors for the light for Mother Earth have a tendency in their physical bodies to build up pressure, to build up weight, to build up energy in their bodies and in their energetic field. Because they are stepping up in their service role to anchor in the light energies. This is causing a bit of pressure in their circulatory system. What I would suggest as the antidote to this is to either find someone to help them open up their channels of energy flow, or depending upon where they are at in the understanding of energy flows, to simply ask their body to do this for them, so that the energies of love and light that they are anchoring in can flow with more ease. And special attention should be placed upon the energies of grounding. Because these beings are serving as anchors, they need to be very aware of their connection to Mother Earth. In other words, their feet, their root, their pelvis. These channels of flow should be very open, so that as they embody the anchoring energies, they are very quickly and directly flowing them into Mother Earth. It is also important that these beings stay hydrated. And there may be some herbs that would be helpful for them to supplement with at this time. Herbs to assist with blood flow, such as dandelion root, cherry bark. It may be helpful to find a trained herbalist to assist these beings in finding the correct herbs for their unique body. Again, what I'm sharing is generalization, and so, dear ones, I would invite you to enroll the help of a trained specialist so as not to cause more harm to your body. It is very important for these dear ones to also make sure they are eating pure food. Food that is not genetically modified, food that is organic whenever possible, food that is grown in purity, so that they are not adding in additional energies and programming to what they are already embodying. It is also important to make the distinction about what they are embodying. In other words, to set proper boundaries. And you could use something like this: I will only anchor in for Mother Earth that which is of the highest frequency. Any programs of the shadow are rejected from my being. And you can make up your own mantra, your own contract. But it is important to set healthy boundaries about what you are allowing to flow into your body and what you are allowing your body to anchor to Mother Earth.
Are there any specific crystals that would be best?
It is good to use anchoring crystals such as shungite, tourmaline. It may also be helpful to use some crystals to enhance flow, such as Larimar, and certain types of Andara. And you can ask the Andara if it will assist with flow and anchoring specifically. For some, especially the women, moonstone would also be a good stone to use to help flow and anchor these energies. Dear ones, let us speak about the energies of August. We are on a fairly stable timeline to see more amplification of what you have already been experiencing in terms of changes within your physical bodies, your energy bodies, your emotional bodies, and yes, even your mental bodies. For some of you in your month of July have experienced fairly significant changes within the body. Some physical and some very much energetic. Indeed, you are rewiring to be more aligned to your truest self. And some of you, especially those of you on the front lines, so to speak, are integrating very immense aspects of yourself. And so if you have been feeling ungrounded, if you have been feeling out of sorts, if your body has been achy, if you have been nauseous or dizzy, part of this, yes, is related to ascension symptoms and the waves of love and light pouring onto your planet. And part of this is because you are preparing the body to receive greater aspects of yourself. You have been bridged to these aspects. You have been connected and receiving information and giving information to these aspects of yourself. And some of you are now ready to integrate fully into the physical body these higher frequency, very vast aspects of yourself. This will continue into August, dear ones. Indeed, August will provide a energetic support for this integration. And if you are one who is not working on this vast integration at this time, August is still providing you with support for your integration of your lower aspects or any other aspects you are ready to integrate at this time. You may feel two distinct energies if you are quite sensitive. You may feel a very quiet, calm, peaceful energy, while at the same time feeling a dissonant energy. And this dissonant energy is the energy of the undoing of the matrix. It may feel like chaos. It may feel like you're wired in your body. It may feel like nervousness or anxiety. Those of you who feel the collective energies may feel this dissonance. Those of you who have been building the connection with your soul essence will also feel the quiet and the calm. Those of you who are connected into Gaia's ascension will feel the quiet and the calm. And yes, you may feel both of these quite strongly. If you are one who is feeling both of these, dear one, you are one who is holding and integrating the polarity for the collective. And I thank you, dear ones, because this is a very significant role, and it is not an easy one to play. It can also be very taxing for the body. And so you'll want to be sure to supplement the body as needed. Again, hydration, pure food, and perhaps additional supplements such as magnesium, manganese, potassium. Some of you will need more iron. Again, it can be very beneficial to find one who is trained in assessing the body and what it needs, so that you can be sure that you are giving the physical body the fuel that it needs to complete this task. This will not be completed in August, but the major thrust of this type of energy is occurring in August. Specifically, the first 2/3 of August. And the last third of August, you will feel a bit of a reprieve as you have done much integration work. And then September will bring a whole new set of energies, which we will discuss in another time. The energies in your financial system are also greatly in flux. As I have mentioned before, there is much being done behind the scenes to assist the light. This means, of course, that there is also much being done on the side of the shadow to thwart these efforts. And so you may also be feeling this as the dissonance or the anxiety or the unsteady energies. It is very important, dear ones, to stay focused on the connection with your own soul essence, your I am presence, your own energy. because this is where stability is found. Because of the massive energies of chaos that are occurring now and will continue to amplify, it is very important that you find your internal strength, that you connect deeply with your soul, that you make it a daily practice to connect with your soul. Because this connection will give you strength, it will give you clarity, it will give you energy, it is your protection. It will enable you to feel more centered while you go through these times of transition. And so, dear ones, if you have not been in practice of connecting with your soul, now is the time to start. There are several significant gateways in August, dear ones. One you have already entered with the Lion's Gate and will complete in the first third of August. There is another gateway 2/3 into August. This will be an easier gateway to pass through. And the beginning of August. You may feel a bit of a bubble or a bit of a wobble. Do not worry, dear ones, this is simply you passing into the energies of August, leaving the energies of July behind and moving into the August energies. You can give yourself extra care the first few days of August to help you move into the August energies with more grace.
My question would be, I guess, just reaffirming those mixed feelings of ups, downs, of chaos and calm, that the chaos is really, it's not a negative thing. It's actually breaking free of our matrix, of the matrix. And just to move through as gracefully as possible, and just breathing would be good, and just really focusing on ourselves. I think that's what you were saying.
Yes, this is correct. To focus on fortifying yourself. And sometimes taking care of yourself also means being in service to others. This is a balance that is individual to each one. For some require space and alone time to flow the energies, to anchor the energies, or whatever service role their soul has chosen. And some greatly benefit by having physical human contact with others, holding space for others, allowing others to speak and be heard. Each being will need to tune in to see what is best for them at the time. And this can greatly fluctuate as this dissonance increases. Your desires may change from day to day, from moment to moment. You may feel in one moment that you wish to go out and dance, and 5 minutes later, feel like you just want to stay home and be by yourself. And so, honor from moment to moment in the best way that you can what your being is asking you to do.
I think it was about 2 weeks ago, there was a power outage in New York City, and only a portion of it was people were without power. I believe it was the west side of New York, and there was an explode. The explanation was there was a transformer that exploded. Now, this is very interesting. I live in Philadelphia, as you know, and at the same time, the same day, we had in our center city area of Philadelphia, we had a manhole explode, and it knocked out the electricity in that section, not the whole city, just one section of town. And oddly enough, I was in my house and I was blow drying my hair. And I always, every 2 days, I blow dry my hair, and I never have a problem with the electricity. All of a sudden, everything shut off on the upstairs in my house. And I had to wait for a while, reset the electricity, and then everything's fine since then. So I was wondering, what was the was all three things kind of related? Was there a surge in the energy? Was it something man-made, or was it something uh, else going on? Thank you.
This was a man made or induced by humans surge in the electrical systems. The infrastructure in these two cities you mentioned is a bit old. And so, on one level, this is a test to see how these types of energy surges will affect the city, the people. The agenda behind this is not pure, dear ones. If you do live in a city like this and you are able, it would be wise to relocate. This is not to bring fear, dear ones, but from a practical point of view, to understand that old cities have old infrastructure. And if this were to occur on a larger scale, it would not be a fun experience for all involved. Now, there are measures being taken by some of your galactic star brothers and sisters to assist in the stability of this infrastructure in hopes of preventing massive blackouts and energy surges and things of this nature. But there is only so much they can do. And we also offer our gratitude to all that they have done so far, for it is largely unnoticed. Most people do not understand that they are assisting.
What I would like us to be in the timeline where we have unlimited free energy. And if I just feel how that would feel, do you think that would be a possibility to replace our old grid soon?
Dear one, it is not likely a soon scenario, depending upon your definition of soon, because of the many layers at work and the agendas that do not want to see this unfolding. There is much opposition to this rolling out. The technology is created, the technology is here. It is more a matter of having the funding and the balance of energy so that the light can succeed in this endeavor. We are getting closer to this, dear ones, but there are still many layers to transmute.
Yes, you had mentioned in your opening statement that there was changes in the financial area next month. Um, I was wondering if you could elaborate on that. And the past 2 weeks, there has been a mountain of stuff going on in the cryptocurrency realm, such as governments are finally waking up that they have to deal with this. Some hate it, others love it. Financial institutions, big players are starting to get involved with it. Specifically, I'd asked you about cryptos a couple of months ago, but it was a little too chaotic for you to give sort of a forecast. It's been rumored that Bitcoin could possibly get anywhere from 14 to 17,000 $17,000 early this fall. Do you agree with this?
Dear ones, it is possible for cryptocurrency to reach this amount. However, it will not necessarily be steady. As we spoke before, it will most likely go up and down, and it could be extreme in its up and down. In terms of the August energy for the financial system, there is an energy by the shadow of scrambling. I will say it in this way. They are trying to figure out how to best maneuver to maintain their power. And so, as I spoke about the dissonance that you may be feeling, it is this scrambling energy that you may be feeling. There are also great strides being made behind the scenes, and for those who are closely attuned to these matters, it is not necessarily behind the scenes for them, but for the public, it is not generally seen. There are being great strides made by the light and the light workers to receive more financial assistance for their projects. And I am speaking of large amounts. I am not speaking of what you call the RV. I'm speaking about those who have been working for the light realm within your governments and financial systems to flow more money to the light workers. Greater strides are being made in this area, and you may see more physical evidence of this if you are connected to these sources of income.
Yeah, I took a video clip from a swallow feeding its young one in the birdhouse. When I was watching the movie clips with the swirling icons, and that movie clip came up, I saw some icons around the head from the young swallow. Is that some kind of an aura or other energies? I took some pictures for myself or a movie clip with a black background itself and try whether that will work too. Maybe it didn't work out, but I know certain pictures with really dark black background, they show some white dots or even tiny small icons. That's a question.
Dear one, when you have contrasting light and shadow, such as with the moon and the icons that show up in your pictures and videos, and this bird that has a bright aura moving towards a dark space, your camera, your technology, and your being is allowing a thinning of the veil so that you can see these messages. As we spoke a long time ago, these messages are coming to you from beings to give you information about energy and technology. You are seeing a representation of the energetics, the energy signatures of what happens when light and shadow intersect. It is the center point of polarity or infinity. They are codes to help you understand the nature of how light and shadow work together. Because many see shadow as evil, this is showing you that because you live in a polarity universe, the intersection of light and shadow is necessary. The intersection of light and shadow creates form. It creates. And so you are given these codes and energy signatures to help you understand how to use light and shadow together for your creations of light. When you set a creation into motion, it first appears in the higher realms, in higher frequency form, in crystalline form, in what you might call fifth dimensional form, which is a type of light form. It is not in dense physicality at that point. When you add the density of planet Earth to your creations, you are adding a bit of shadow. You need the density in order to create physicality. This is why you are in human bodies. This is why you interact with solid material. These codes that you are seeing in the dance of light and shadow are reflecting to you what occurs when your creation intentions meet density.
Currently, it's understood by some that we are starting to enter into the solar minimum era. And we have experienced changes in the jet stream and weather patterns. There's been a lot of severe flooding in areas of the United States, which usually don't get that much water, and changes like this all around the planet. As a result, we've had some shortages a lot in basically grains and other vegetables. Um, do you see this getting worse next year? And will there be food shortages?
Thank you, dear one. It is possible that in some of these areas there will be food shortages, but it is also equally possible that in other areas that typically do not grow food well will be able to grow more food. And so there will be a balance. If people are forward thinking enough to plant the seeds, to cultivate the food, etc. And so, if you are one who works with seeds and food, it is very important for you to find areas where you can create successful food production. It will help to use dowsing to determine this. And if you are thinking of relocating, you can dowse a map instead of having to travel to the place. Because things are in such flux, it would be best to do this closer to the time of planting food. So, in your winter time, as you are thinking about planting seeds and creating gardens and agriculture, etc., this would be time to determine where to plant your food. Do you have any clarifying questions about this, dear one?
Yes, in regards to what you said about other areas, do you see areas such as North Africa, which used to be the breadbasket of Rome, becoming a fertile climate once again? I've heard it say that it's been projected in some models that there may be migration to Africa, places of this like this in the future.
This is not the current trajectory, dear one. The timeline that we are on right now, this is not where this is headed. We have spoken several times about the importance of staying focused on your creations of light. And so I will bring a reminder today for each of you to bring your focus back to what you are creating. Many of you are doing extreme amounts of energy work, extreme amounts of inner work, and this is all important. And yet there must also be a balance with the forward moving energy of what you are creating for the light. And so, dear ones, I would invite you to create a practice for yourself in which at least once a day you are envisioning, feeling, seeing, sensing, knowing what you are creating in density. Meaning specifically what energies you are wanting to take physical space here on planet Earth. So, whether it is free technology for everyone, whether it is a safe vehicle to travel back and forth to work, whether it is creating a garden or a new living space, whatever it is that you are creating to enable you to be more aligned to your mission, whatever physical, material things support your soul mission. Focus on these things, dear ones. And do allow yourself to dream and to play with these creations, to allow a miracle to occur. For yes, some creations are very practical, and some do not seem as practical, and yet they are aligned to your soul mission. And so allow yourselves, dear ones, to have fun with this practice of being a creator. I thank you, dear ones. Wow, thank you everyone for tuning in to episode 103. I really love that last message that Prime Creator gave to us. To have fun. I personally tend to get a little serious, so I like that reminder to play with it and have fun. So much love to you all. Thank you for joining me in this video. If you want more channeling videos and not just from Prime Creator, but also the Blue Dragons, join us at any level of paid membership in the Creation Temple. If you want personal support, join us as a Master or Supreme Creator in the Creation Temple. And we're ready to have you as part of our family. Thanks again for joining. Much love.